No, I was just explaining how everybody who buys anything follows the same process no matter what it is. If you're buying a stick of gum, if you're buying a new house, if you're choosing a new career, picking a college, buying a car, it doesn't matter. We all follow the same process. The same process. Now the process will go quicker depending on what it is you're buying, or like what is the weight of the decision that you're making. Like a life-changing move is going to take you a little bit longer to follow that process than, say, buying a candy bar, but the process is still the same. You always have to start with being aware that you have a problem or a need. We come over here, we start with awareness. You're now aware that there's something that you want to solve in your life, something missing, maybe a Three Musketeers or a Snickers, I don't know. But now you're interested, now that you're aware that the candy bars are there and you're aware that you have a need or a desire for a candy bar, you can either choose to grab one or not. This is where you go from awareness to interest. I think that I do want to solve this problem, and I think that one of these candy bar options would be something that I'm going to possibly purchase to solve this problem. And you start looking at all the candy bars that are in front of you. And then you say, well, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I'm going to take Snickers out of the equation. Or I want some chocolate, I don't want these other kinds of candies. And so you start to eliminate options, and those that are left are your consideration set. That's the next step of the process. And then as soon as you narrow that down and you say, hey, the Snickers, I love a Snickers, they're 2 for 1 or 2 for 5 or whatever the deal is, you have an intent to buy that product. So you're going from the consideration of considering this to I'm intending to buy a Snickers, you put it on the conveyor belt and you make your purchase. This all happens very rapidly, but it's the same process when you're buying a house. If you think about it, we need to move. We're going to move. We want to move. We want a new house. We want to downsize. We want to maybe make more room. So you start to become aware that there's a problem that you want to solve, a need or a want that you need to satisfy. And then you start house shopping, right? So you went from I'm aware that I want to do these things to I'm actually going to start shopping for houses. And then you get on Zillow, or you maybe contact a realtor, and then you really start to narrow down your options. In fact, you do what we do in marketing, is you start to check on the targeting criteria. I need a 4-bedroom house with this much land, these many bathrooms, and all of the options. And then when you narrow that down to a group of houses that you would consider buying, you're now in the consideration phase, and then you put an offer on the one you intend to buy. If all goes well, you complete the purchase. It's always the same no matter what we buy. Now that's understanding the purchase process. And if you understand the purchase process, as marketers, all you have to do is understand where your customers are in that process and deliver the message that is most relevant. You see, what happens is people want to go, I'm either doing awareness or I'm doing conversion campaigns. And your conversion is going to take place around the consideration to intent, technically from intent to purchase. Some will argue that the intent to purchase is usually a handoff between marketing and sales. In other words, I want to buy it, now I got to talk to the salesperson who's going to help me buy it. That could be the conversion. Some would say I'm converting them from consideration to intent. It really kind of depends on your business model and how your purchasing model is set up for your company, depending on what you're selling, right? So if we say there's awareness advertising and there's conversion advertising, awareness is going to let people know that your product exists. Conversion is going to help them purchase. Maybe it's a lead generation form. You can call them that lead form completion, a conversion, or maybe it's someone is actually making an online purchase of your product. That's taking them from intent to purchase, facilitated by technology on your website. And your advertising campaigns or your conversion campaign is going to find those people who are ready to buy and convert them to a purchase. Where we get mixed up is everybody wants to do conversion because that's where we make money. And we forget that all these other steps have to take place first. What you have to do is build a comprehensive campaign that's going to identify people who are at each step and introduce a message that will nurture them to the next phase of the process or the next step of the process, not take them from awareness to conversion. That doesn't work. And don't think that awareness is going to convert them, because that doesn't work either. Find the folks who are not yet aware, give them an awareness message, make them aware that maybe they have a need or a want, or at least that you can solve the problem that they have. And then maybe you'll make it to the consideration set when they get to that point. And if you are in the consideration set and the data that you have about your customers, it suggests that, then there are some tactics that you can implement at that step that will move them to the next step of intent. And that all that's doing is eliminating your competition through the proper messaging at the proper step of the purchase process, which we all follow.